Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What is going on, listeners? Welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast. We are a pro wrestling podcast. We cover your WWEs and we cover your AEWs. We have recaps, we have predictions, we have throwback episodes. We do just about what we can to bring entertainment to your ears. My name is Rob Rude. You can find me on Twitter at 2 words can't see me, the letter C. Normally I got my tag team partner here with me, Kevin Crazy 316, but he must have fell asleep. He hasn't responded. We're all humans. We fall asleep. Stuff happens. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on Google Play. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us pretty much anywhere you can find any other podcast. We do our best to bring you the content. This content tonight is going to cover AEW Dynamite. Tonight's Dynamite was a pretty solid episode. I thought it was pretty good. I had a couple little gripes. I remember a few weeks ago I had nothing but gripes. But they're doing their best with what they got. And it was, I'd say, a B episode. I'd watch it again. It was good stuff. We started the episode with a Cody Rhodes promo rather than a Jake the Snake promo, which was the last 2 weeks saying the same stuff. Lance Archer, I'm going to smoke you. He's going to smoke everybody. This time we had Cody Rhodes saying, who am I? Am I a beast? Am I going to beat you? What am I going to do with myself? Basically, he didn't really mention Lance Archer, but that's who he was gunning at. Generic promo, nothing against it, but it was your basic promo. And what am I going to do? What he's going to do is end up facing Lance Archer in the TNT title finals because it's pretty predictable. They got these two going at each other, and then all of a sudden there's a tournament, and they're both in it. They both advanced. It's pretty predictable. It's going to be him and Lance Archer in the finals. But we will move on to the start of the show. Speaking of the TNT title tournament, we had Sammy Guevara facing Darby Allin hanging out on his skateboard. Before the match could even start, Sammy does like a flipsy-do moonsault over the top rope, and he takes out Darby Allin. He starts funking him on the outside of the ring before the bell even rings, and he pulls out a ladder. He set up the ladder on the apron and the guardrail, and he put Darby Allin on top of it, and he frog splashed him from the top rope, and the ladder didn't give out. Like, wow. It was absolutely amazing. It looked like it hurt so bad. And they beat each other up for a while on the outside of the ring. Guevara had, like, the edge, like, majorly. They ended up in the ring, and Darby Allin ended up having Guevara in, like, a tree of woe. And he took his boot and his sock off. I thought he was about to eat his foot. Like, it looked like absolutely so amazing. It was a back and forth match. It was not predictable at all. I thought it was great. Jericho in the crowd making everything better, talking about his boy Guevara. Everybody says Guevara is a mini Jericho. And then Pineapple Pete shows up on the screen. So Jericho goes nuts. Yeah, Pineapple Pete, Pineapple Pete. It's one of my favorite things in wrestling right now. So Jericho mentions that Cody is the next opponent, and it really made me want Guevara to win this match and have a Cody versus Guevara in the next round and have a finger poke of doom. Anybody old school wrestling knows the Hogan and the Nash finger poke of doom. That would have been amazing. But Darby Allin ends up taking the cake with he goes for the coffin drop, but Guevara caught him in like a torture rack. And then it ended up turning into a Last Supper. And he got the roll up. Like a Last Supper, if you haven't seen it, it's like a figure four, and then he flips over him to get him for the pin. It looks super hard to kick out of. Like, I'm not a big fan of roll-ups, but this one looks amazing, and it looks like it could actually work. So next week, we're going to have Darby Allin against Cody Rhodes. And it should be a very, very, very good match. It would have been better than Guevara and Rhodes because, I mean, they're both inner circle. So it would have been a finger poke of doom squash type deal. So Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes next week. Allin takes the cake. And then we turn into a Matt Hardy promo. Those who don't know me, I wasn't around when Matt Hardy became broken. I was around for the Attitude Era. So I'm all about the Hardy Boys and what they used to do, the TLCs and stuff. So, like, I didn't really like the broken Matt Hardy from the outside. I never heard his promos or nothing. Obviously, WWE didn't use him well. But now that he's in AEW, his promos are absolutely amazing. I love the way he talks. I love his wording. I love the way he carries himself. Talking about Jericho's the hole of the ass. And last week, he's like, he comes out of the tub of hot in his pants of leather. It's so amazing. And then I was tweeting, and then it switched over to regular Matt Hardy. That was excellent. That was so great. So Hardy's coming after the entire Inner Circle. He basically said even if he's got to take everybody out, he is coming after Jericho because he is the hole of the ass. And Jericho on commentary a couple times said he's going to break Matt Hardy's stupid drone. So this is going to lead. They're probably going to end up fighting at All In. I think it's All In May. It's crazy. It's been a year already. But yeah, they're definitely bleeding this up well. Hardy he's a great addition to AEW. And him and Jericho, they're going to have an excellent match. I think it's going to be great. Speaking of an excellent match, next we had Kenny Omega versus Alan Angels. I don't know who this Alan Angels guy is. I thought it was going to be a job. I really did. But this guy put up a fight against Kenny Omega. He, like, legit put up a fight. Omega won, which you knew it was going to happen. But, like, I thought it was going to be a legit squash. And I hate squashes. I don't like squash matches. Like, you don't need squash matches to make somebody look strong. Like, the Viking Raiders had so many squash matches. They're the Viking frickin' Raiders. You don't need them to squash local talent in 2 seconds to look strong. Just look at them. They're strong. It is what it is. He put up a fight. Alan Angels put up a fight. But Kenny Omega pops a sweet V-trigger, and he gets the win. Moving on to Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky is part of SCU. Everybody knows that. We haven't seen any SCU in the last few weeks. I mean, we can speculate why. It's because of what's going on in the world. But Scorpio Sky is here giving us a promo, talking about how he always wanted to be a wrestler. When young kids wanted to be a firefighter and wanted to be police officers and paramedics, he wanted to be a wrestler, so he pursued the dream. Never got his shot until AEW came along, and now he's the thing, and he's happy to be part of AEW. Then we had a Dustin Rhodes promo talking to Cody. I think it was Cody. Saying if he doesn't win tonight's match, he'll be done with AEW. He won't wrestle anymore. And we'll talk about that later, but I thought, wow, okay, he's going to be done. The dude's like 50 years old, and he's still out there killing it. But I figured it was time for him to go to the front lines or the back lines, hang out at the desk, video production, creative, whatever. The dude's a legend. He can still be part of the company. But we'll talk about that later. Next, we had Orange Cassidy versus Jimmy Havoc. The best friends are my second favorite thing in wrestling. My first favorite thing being Lacey Evans. I love me some Lacey Evans. Orange Cassidy and Jimmy Havoc. This was amazing. It was so good. Jericho mentioned for like the 80th time that he hates Orange Cassidy. He hates his attitude. He hates what he's about. Freshly Squeezed is the dumbest thing in the world. And it's absolutely amazing. The Best Friends hits. The Best Friends music hits. Trent and Chuck are hanging out with him. And Jimmy Havoc like starts dominating like instantly right away. And it lasted a while. I thought Havoc was going to win. Havoc put Orange Cassidy's hands in his pockets, basically talking shit. And I knew it was going to happen. I felt the momentum shift coming. And boom, Orange Cassidy starts coming back. He does a suicide dive outside of the ring. And then Penelope Ford jumps on the apron, tries to distract Orange Cassidy. Chuck Taylor comes over and stops. And Ford's looking at her while Kip Sabian flips over the ropes and takes out Trent and Chuck. Penelope Ford jumps in the ring. She jumped off the top rope and she tried hitting Orange Cassidy and she missed. And it ended up turning into Orange Cassidy rolling up Jimmy Havoc, and Orange Cassidy gets the win. They keep doing my best friends wrong, and Orange Cassidy won. And when the best friends music hit for the win, I marked out, and I marked out hard. I won't lie. And then Kip Sabian and everybody started beating him up, but then it didn't last very long, and the Best Friends music hit again, and it just made me mark out even more. It was absolutely amazing. It was good. I want to see the Best Friends go places, but I see why they're not. I mean, they're, I guess you can say B card. I don't know. Maybe one day they'll be up there. But speaking of B card, somebody who's not B card, we have an A carder. MJF has been dropping tweets talking about he needs to have surgery and he'll let us know what's going on and whatever. He pulls the ultimate heel move. But I do want to say, he started his promo. I was in the other room for this. He started his promo saying the world has been shook by what's going on in the world. Everybody knows what's going on. I'm not going to say it. I thought this was a commercial. And then I walk in the room and it's him talking. I don't want to hear it. It's my personal opinion. I could be overthinking it. I don't want to hear the shit. I don't want to hear you talk about it. I don't want to hear what's going on in the world. I don't want to hear it. I'm watching your product to get away from what's going on in the world. I'm an essential worker. I work at a grocery store. I work 66 hours a week. I am out of the house more than I'm in the house. I don't want to hear it. I think about it all day. That's all I fucking think about. Sorry about the F-bomb. I don't want to hear it. I thought it was a terrible way to start the promo. I looked over it once the promo continued on. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear these stupid jokes. It is what it is. Moving on, he did come and he said that his injury was a hangnail. He was talking about on Twitter he was going to need surgery, and then it's a hangnail. It's so MJF, it's not even funny. And then the second thing we got out of this promo was MJF's. Basically, the fans of MJFs are MJFFs now. I thought that was pretty good. But yes, again, I didn't like the way this promo started. I might be overthinking it. I probably am. A lot of might disagree with me. I don't want to hear this stuff. I'm watching your product to get away from that stuff. That's just me. I don't know. That's just me. Moving on. Lee Johnson versus Warlow. Who is Lee Johnson? Apparently he had an 0-1 record. I don't know who he is. I don't care who he is. We knew this was going to be a squash. It wasn't a 10-second squash, but it was a squash. And that was about it. Wardlow gets the win. Lee Johnson, second squash of the night. The first one was Kenny Omega. It wasn't a squash, but it was. This is squash number 2. Moving on, we had a Brody Lee Dark Order promo. And he had somebody sitting at his desk asking him, where did he wrestle? How much does he weigh? And basically giving him an interview. And we got a voice, but we didn't get a face. And one thing I didn't catch, what the Smacked Raw crew in the chat told me, was Brody mentioned he has the whole world in his hands, which is something that Bray Wyatt used to say. I don't think it's Bray Wyatt, but I mean, I don't know contracts and stuff. I don't look into stuff like that. I think it was just a plug at WWE. But I do want to know who got the mask. Who got the mask? Like they caught my attention on this one. If you remember Rowan and his cage, like they caught my attention and then they lost it. Like this, I don't think it could be lost. Speaking of Brody Lee versus Justin Law. They showed Marco Stunt and I booed. Anybody who don't know me, I hate Marco Stunt. He has no place in the wrestling ring. He has no place. I won't say business, but no, they got him rolling up 300-pound men. Dude, you're 90 pounds. You can't roll up anybody. I can't do it. Beyond that, this was the third match of the night that was so predictable that it was going to be a squash. I'm not really a fan of that. But with what is going on in the world, it's kind of hard working with no crowd, minimal staff, minimal storyline. It is what it is. Brody Lee gets a win, of course. You knew it was going to happen. Brody Lee stares at Marco Stunt. I really want Marco Stunt to challenge Brody Lee. I really, truly do. And I want to see Marco Stunt get whomped on. And maybe he'll be like, okay, maybe I'm not a wrestler. I should just give it up and just not wrestle guys that are 300 pounds. So then we move on to the Bubbly Bunch. Basic shit talking, telling how they're better than everybody. They're all on FaceTime and they're all on Skype and Discord and whatever, talking with their iPhones and their MacBooks and all that happy stuff. And then I didn't write it in the notes. I forget what it was freaking called. They did the dance and the flim flam. It wasn't, my bad. It is in there. I'm sorry, guys. The flim flam. Jericho says, everybody do the flim flam. And the prize is a bottle of hand sanitizer. Again, I don't want to think about hand sanitizer while I'm watching wrestling. Wrestling is a getaway. It's fantasy. Get me away from the world and the fact that I personally just paid $37 for some hand sanitizer, okay? It was a gallon, but I paid $37 for hand sanitizer, okay? I don't want to see it in my freaking unreality getaway. I don't want to see it. Again, I'm overthinking it. Drop it in the comments below. Am I overthinking it? Am I being, a poo-poo head? Whatever. I don't want to see it. Anyway, moving on from that, the prize was to whoever did the best flim flam. And you had the entire inner circle on their iPhones doing a flim flam, and they were dropping their elbows, and it was absolutely amazing. And, it seriously brought a smile to my face. I was, in my head bitching about this hand sanitizer thing, but then it made me smile. And then Sammy Guevara starts doing flips and backflips. And Jericho's like, I didn't do this for anybody to show off. Enjoy your hand sanitizer, Sammy. And he throws his phone down and walks away. It was absolutely amazing. I love the Bubbly Bunch stuff. I really, truly do. I love the Inner Circle. Jericho is such an amazing talent. He is so good. Even when he's done wrestling, he's going to be so amazing. So moving on after this, we had Dustin Rhodes against Kip Sabian. This is the match that Dustin said if he loses, he's done wrestling in AEW. I think he said wrestling. I didn't think he said he was quitting. But Dustin Rhodes versus Kip Sabian in the quarterfinals, semifinals, whatever the hell it was, to go on to face Lance Archer next week in the doubleheader. It's Lance Archer and Dustin Rhodes. And then on the other side is Cody Rhodes and I'm already drawing a blank. Who freaking won earlier? Was it Darby? Yeah, it was Darby. I think it was Darby. I don't know. Forgive me. Whatever. Dustin Rhodes, Kip Sabian. Penelope Ford out there looking good in them shorts. I had to throw it out there. Just saying. Dustin took the early advantage. Dustin Rhodes is 50 years old, and my man is still out there freaking killing it. He's absolutely killing it, and he's like, it's absolutely amazing. It is so good. So Rhodes is on the apron, and Penelope Ford grabs his foot, and then she starts choking him on the rope, and Brandy's out there. I forgot to mention Brandy Rhodes is out there with Dustin Rhodes. Brandy does nothing. Absolutely nothing. She just kind of says, hey, stop it. Stop. And then the basic match, back and forth. I figured Kip Sabian was going to win, but it went back and forth. Penelope Ford ended up in the ring. Brandy went in and dropped Penelope Ford with a spear. It was so absolutely amazing. And then Rhodes ended up winning with that flipsy Canadian destroyer Red Death thing. I forget what he calls it. I'm sorry, guys. Rhodes got the win. Rhodes actually took the win, and Kip Sabian got knocked out. If I would have put money on this match, I would have lost my money, plain and simple. So you got Dustin Rhodes against Lance Archer. Rhodes said if he loses tonight, he's done with AEW, but he didn't say anything about next week. So maybe he still can be around, and that's the way to add some stories. Oh my God, is Rhodes gonna lose? But now he won, he can still wrestle. Maybe it's a way to add story to what's going on right now. And I don't know. I'm all about Rhodes beating Kip Sabian. I really am. Rhodes and Lance Archer. Like I said, Lance Archer and Dustin and Cody are going to be your finals. It's got to be the way they're building everything. I don't think Dustin Rhodes is going to be done. He's doing dude's 50. He's still out there killing it. So that was your Dynamite. We had a short episode. I'm sorry, guys. I ran solo and I blew through it. That was your recap. Thank you guys for listening. And hopefully next week, Kevin Crazy will be back on here with me and we can give you a little more in-depth of what happened. I gave you the quick rundown and that was it. This will be on YouTube. This will be on Spotify. This will be on Stitcher. It'll be on all that happy stuff. You can catch me on Twitter at 2 words, can't the letter C, me. 2 words, can't see me. Let me know how I did. This was my first time rolling solo, and I blew through it. I really did. Let me know how I did. I would really love to hear from you guys. Even if it's bad, even if I did terrible, let me know, guys. Let me know in the comments, and I will be seeing you guys on Twitter. I will be seeing you guys on other podcasts, on YouTubes. I'll see you next week for some AEW Dynamite.